Recorded Books and One Click Digital present The Crimson Cord, Rahab's Story, by Jill Eileen Smith, narrated by Callie Beaulieu. Part 1. And Joshua, the son of Nun, sent 2 men secretly from Shittim as spies, saying, "Go, view the land, especially Jericho." And they went, and came into the house of a prostitute whose name was Rahab, and lodged there. Before the men lay down, she came up to them on the roof, and said to the men, "I know that the Lord has given you the land. Now then, please swear to me by the Lord that, as I have dealt kindly with you, you also will deal kindly with my father's house, and that you will save alive my father and mother, my brothers and sisters, and all who belong to them, and deliver our lives from death." The Book of Joshua, Chapter 2, Verse 1, verses 8 through 9, verses 12 through 13. English Standard Version. Chapter 1. Jericho, 1406 B.C. Rahab draped the pale blue scarf over her head and shivered in the pre-dawn chill. Her 2 sisters, Callie and Adara, took some convincing, but in the end they had followed her on the short walk to the city's public gardens in search of the dead carcasses of the female Caucus ilicus, the crimson worms prized for their deep scarlet dyes. "You know the king's servants have probably already stripped the trees bare," Callie said, resting a protective hand over the growing babe within her. "And Sadok was not too happy to have me leave him with just a blanket for warmth when I left our bed." Gamal never noticed whether Rahab shared their bed anymore. How quickly his ardor had cooled after the war had left him both injured and a national hero for saving the prince's life. Yet how could a single battle cause so much change? Shame heated her face, and she quickly ducked her head, lest Callie notice. Surely she had done something to displease him. Surely her childlessness had forced him to seek lovers in the streets and drink in the taverns at night. "Your daughter is very beautiful, my lord." The memory of Gamal's words that day during her 15th summer invaded her thoughts. He had accompanied his father to her father's home to seek her hand in marriage. How tall and proud Gamal had looked, standing like the soldier he was with one hand behind his back, the other resting on his close-cropped dark beard. Dark hair peeked beneath a leather helmet, and a slight smile tipped the corners of a strong, round jaw. Her heart had beat faster at the sound of his deep yet gentle voice, and though she hid in the shadows in the connecting room, she heard every word of the exchange, the bartering. Gamal's father had the prescribed bride price, and Gamal, a soldier in the king's guard, earned a good living. Rahab would be well cared for in her new home. How short-lived that promise. The familiar twinge of envy filled her in one glance at Callie's protruding middle. In 5 years of marriage, she had not produced a son for Gamal, or even a daughter, though a daughter would not have pleased him. Perhaps she should be searching for mandrakes or performing fertility rites at the temple to procure a child instead of searching for worms that might bring her profit to feed her husband's gaming habit. A child would remove the sting of her shame and give her someone to love. A child might cause Gamal to look on her with favor again. "Your thoughts are very far away, my sister," Callie said, drawing up behind her as they walked along the mud-brick streets now where palm trees lined the boulevard. "I know that look." Her voice dropped to a whisper, and they both glanced Adara's way. Rahab shook her head. "It is nothing," though in truth it was everything. She could not create a child any more than she could find the elusive mandrakes, and she was not about to offer sacrifices or prostitute herself to the temple on the whims of false hope. "Has Gamal hurt you again?" Callie rested a hand on her arm, forcing Rahab to stop and meet her gaze.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?